How to set up PSP Part 2. This is the second part of setting up your PSP, and keep in mind that this is only going to happen one time. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go up to File, down to Preferences, and to File Format Associations. And what we're going to do is to make certain that none of these are checked unless you want these things to open up with PSP. And that would mean like my JPEG files. If I had a JPEG file checked, every time I clicked on a JPEG it would open with Corel Paint Shop Pro, and I don't want that to happen. I want mine to open in Windows Photo Viewer. So I make certain that that is unchecked. The same with your GIF files and your PNG files. I don't have any of those open with Corel Paint Shop Pro. So all of these should be unchecked and you click Save. The next thing is File, Preferences, and Reset Preferences. Down here we have Delete All Cache Files checked, and this keeps the browser files from showing up in your folders all the time. We don't want that, so keep this checked and click OK. The next thing that's necessary to do is when you first install Corel Paint Shop Pro and you have an image in your workspace, it's not going to have a border around it. So in order to get that border around it, we are going to go up to Window and uncheck this tabbed Documents. And that brings our border around. Sometimes, for some reason, maybe you've double-clicked on it or whatever, that border will disappear. There are a couple of ways to get that back. One is to go up to your right top corner, and you see where these little boxes are overlapped. Click on that, and it will bring your border back. Let's say for some unknown reason, your border disappears again. If you have your Pan tool or your Move tool highlighted here, you can go to the Fit Window to Image box right here and click on it, and you have it back again. And those are a couple of ways to get your border back around your image. Now I'm going to show you how to import and export brushes. Let's say you had this brush that you wanted to have in your brushes folder here. One way to do that is to go to File, Export, down to Custom Brush, and you can see that Create Brush Tip box comes up, and this little image shows what you're working with. You can leave it the name that it is set to default, or you can give it your own name. You can give it a description if you want. And you click OK, and now it is in your brush folder. I'm going to close it out because I don't want this one in my brush folder. Another way to do this is to click File and go down to Import. And when you import a custom brush, you will get this box, Import Custom Brush. You click on Open, and it opens in your PSP files, your brushes folder, and in this case it is under this folder here, and I'll just click on it, and all of the brushes that are in that folder show up here. If I wanted to add them all in, I could click on Add All, and it would put them all in here. If I just wanted to choose one, I could click on it and click Add, or say I just wanted to choose, say, 4 of them. You hold down your Control, and through that Control button or key on your keyboard, and you just click on the 4 that you want and click Add, and they're going to pop in there, as you can see, and then you click OK, and that brush is now in your brushes folder. I will show you something interesting about the brushes. They pick up the colors from your materials palette, both foreground and background colors. I have my foreground set to a gradient, and let's go to the paintbrush tool from the tools bar and click on the drop down here, and you can see I have a lot of brushes in here, and we're going to click on this bamboo one and click OK. And I can see that it's set to a size of 716, and I know that my image is 500 by 500, so I'm going to change this to 500. I'm going to left click on this, which is going to give me the red and green of my gradient. If I want to have just one color, I can also make this smaller. I'll make it to a 300, and we will put a little red bamboo by right-clicking down here. And I think that's kind of neat, but that's the way that you will be using brushes. The last thing in this lesson that I want to do is to show you about exporting a picture tube in. First, let's get a no, that's the wrong one. Let's get a picture tube up here. That's not it either. Well, let's just say I had that, and I want to put a picture tube in. I go to File, I go to Export, down to Picture Tube. Now, something about picture tubes, they only use the color that they are installed in. They do not pick up the colors of your materials palette, so they're kind of limited. But once this Export Picture Tube box comes up, you give your tube a name and you click OK, and because I don't want it in here, I'm just going to X out of it. But now we will assume that it is in our picture tube collection. So I'm going to click on the picture tube tool in the toolbar. I'm going to go up here to the drop down, and here are my picture tubes. And let's click on the cardinal. It's just a little small one, scale of 100. And I'm going to click and put him on the top of this bamboo. And it doesn't make any difference if I right click or left click. It's going to remain the same color or style as what you installed it as. They never change color, so keep that in mind, and I hope you have a lot of fun using these tools. Bye for now.